I honestly don't know why more people aren't talking about CJ Allen. I think CJ Allen modeled his skill set after the linebackers from the early 2010s NCAA football games. I remember being in high school playing NCAA football 10, and it seemed like every time I'd throw the ball over the middle, a linebacker would jump what seemed like 12 feet in the air and swat the ball away, and it was the most annoying thing ever. That's the type of stuff that CJ Allen is doing when the ball is in the air, and that's what made me fall in love with his game. I related to that because I lived it in my NCAA football my player career so many times. So I was very impressed with CJ Allen because of that. And I think it's even more impressive because CJ Allen isn't the biggest linebacker. When you look at his measurables, he's 6'1 with 31.5-inch arms. Those aren't measurables of a guy you'd expect to be out there doing that type of stuff. That's something that you expect Sonny Styles to be doing because he's 6'5 with almost 33-inch arms and an insane vertical jump. And I don't know what CJ Allen's vertical jump is because he didn't test at the combine, but I'd have to assume that it's up there because his ability to make plays and just swat the ball down when the ball's in the air, it was very impressive to me. Again, reminded me of those linebackers from the NCAA football games that can seemingly just jump as high as they want to get the ball. Very, very impressive to me. I like CJ Allen a lot, and I think more people should be talking about him.
So they're not because he's not testing. He's got lingering knee swelling from a November injury, and so he's not athletically testing, and so he's not putting the product out there. And I think that's part of the reason why there's some apprehension to him of like, well, maybe not. But he's your leader. He's your guy. He's your in the NFL. He'd be your green dot guy. Excuse me. He's the guy getting everybody lined up. He's the guy getting everything ready to go. And he's also an elite run stopper. He gets downhill fast, reads the play, moves to the right spot, and makes the stop. Everything he's got going for him is dependable. I think it's just the right word. He's playing in an era that is too late or too early for him. I think we said the same thing about, there's another linebacker who, was it Styles specifically? Yeah, freak athlete, playing football 20 years too late. Yep, bingo. We've got a very similar thing going on here where it's just a size difference. He's a team leader. He's the player you want for the current trend of the NFL. I talked about the same thing with Sonny Styles, with we're shifting more into a run game. We were just in a passing era of NFL, and now the offenses cheat, right? They know the play call before the play happens. And so the offenses, in this case, they're going to adjust based on what your defense did last year. And so our offense is now going to, you're stacking heavy secondary, so we're going to shift to running until you can stack the box again, and then we're going to go back to throwing over the top of you. And so he's a guy at the very forefront of this change. You got a couple of them this year, and Styles and Allen, where they're just going to stand there and they're going to stop the run. And I really like what you guys going on.
One thing you mentioned is that CJ Allen is always flying to the ball in the run game. I think when he's flying around on the field, he looks like a missile out there when he's closing on the ball carrier. He's just constantly around the ball, constantly flying around the field. However, I think that can also get him into a little bit of trouble sometimes because he can get too eager in certain situations. I think he can get caught against play action sometimes, which leaves the middle of the field open. And just to give an example, there was one play where I saw a tight end run towards CJ Allen and then just turn around and stop and waited for the ball to come to him. And the reason he was able to get the ball is because instead of covering him, CJ Allen thought the ball was going somewhere else. And so he started to react as if the ball was going that way, and he just left the tight end open. Now, CJ Allen did make the play. He made the tackle on that play, but had he just stayed with the tight end, he wouldn't have had to make the play. It wouldn't have been a play because CJ Allen would have been right there. So that's something that he needs to work on. But overall, I think he's a very instinctive linebacker who has got excellent closeout speed and is just an overall solid playmaker.
I agree. So I actually saw this same draft comp, which I thought was very interesting. Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. When
he's an awesome player. I really want to talk about him coming up. He's an awesome player.
He is the exact same height and weight as CJ Allen. They're both 6'1", 230 pounds. And when you watch them on film, Jacob Rodriguez looks significantly smaller than CJ Allen. Allen plays a lot bigger than his frame. And so I think that's going to be a huge benefit for him moving forward. Also, Mark Davis's haircut still sucks.